Her name is Rivyann Blount. She's from here in El Paso, and she's a graduate of Mountwood High School. Am I correct? Awesome. So with that, I will get out of the way. Let Rivyann talk.
Hi guys, how are you guys doing? Good. Well, like you said, my name is Rivyann Blount. I did graduate from the University of Texas at Dallas with what they call EMAC, which is Emerging Media and Communications. Basically, they use big fancy words, but it just means like digital marketing. So anything between, commercial making, video editing, web development, social media marketing, all that kind of stuff. So just to start off as an icebreaker, I'm going to ask you guys this is a word, and I'm going to ask you guys to work together to try to figure out what this word is. So I don't know if you guys want to come up and like scrabble it together. You want to send up a few people at a time, however you would like. I'll give you about 2 minutes, give or take. Go ahead.
Go for it.
Nobody else is going to help her?
I'm not really good with spelling, but
I think she gets an automatic A.
Yeah, I think so too, right? Yeah. Well, so you guys spelled it correctly.
wait.
It's like watching a game show. It's like watching a game show.
Hold on.
Want to phone a friend?
Somebody want to help her? Or you want to maybe tell them what you think it is? And
I don't know how to say it. Hold on.
What do you think it is?
I don't know, I'm stuck.
Go ahead.
What's the word, Ali?
The word is persevere. But it's just, there you go. Persevere. So, is it spelled right? Yeah, it should be spelled right. Okay, so how do I turn this board on?
Oh, you want to turn that on?
Yes.
Oh, you gotta go over here. Get out of the press seat. That's right. It's gonna take a couple seconds for it to turn. It should come on. I should have left it on. Or if you want, go ahead and go, and then once it's on, I'll.
Okay, got it. Just keep going?
Yeah, just keep going. I'll get it on.
Okay, well, will I be able to?
Yes, go ahead.
You know what, I'll just do this. Do it here.
We have this every day in this class with that thing.
Okay. And I'm not logged in. Okay, so persevere, which means to be persistent or to refuse to stop. So I divided into acronyms. So I'm going to start off with P, which I put as purpose. So what was the purpose of me going to school? Well, growing up, it was just, my parents basically gave me no choice. They both graduated from college, and I was blessed enough to have them, push me through that, give me no choice. Graduating high school, I knew that was my only option. And later on, after graduating high school, I learned that a higher education was going to benefit me in the long run. Getting a higher education will allow you to have something to fall back on. Even if you don't use it, you always have that piece of paper that'll, get you another job or whatever it is that you might want to do. So I started off after graduating from Mountwood High School, I went straight into UTEP. Probably wasn't, school is school, but had I done it the other way, I probably would have started at APCC just for financial purposes. It's a lot cheaper. But I just went straight into UTEP because my mom actually came to EPCC, and when she transferred to UTEP, most of her credits didn't transfer. So she was afraid and told me, no, you need to go straight into UTEP. So that's what I did. At UTEP, I was a psychology major at first. I wanted something that was going to be fulfilling, so I thought being an oncology therapist was going to make me happy. Later on, I found out that my mom was like, do you want to be in school for a really long time? Do you want to get your PhD? And at the time, I was like, oh no, like I want to do 4 years, get out, get a job, that's it. So for E, I put endure to the end. So when you're going through school, you're going to be, a lot of discouragements are going to pass your way. One of the discouragements that I ran into were I had a lot of friends who were bartenders, who were in sales, who they would manipulate me or try to manipulate me and tell me, you know what, like, why are you going to school? Like, that's a waste of money. You can earn the same amount of money bartending. You can earn the same amount of money, selling insurance. You don't need a degree. So I had to fight past all of those, all the negative talk or people trying to like change my mind, and I had to continue pushing forward. Another discouragement that I had was when I was in high school, I didn't take any college credit. Like I didn't get any college credit in high school. So a lot of my friends who did ended up graduating in 3 years, but it took me 5.5 years to graduate college. Going to UTEP, right after that, I decided to transfer. And because of that, at UTEP, I changed my degree from psychology to video production, which is completely different. But it was something that I enjoyed. I really enjoyed, editing videos, making commercials. So I thought, let's do it, I need to do something that's going to make me happy. So I decided to change my major. Then it's still not showing. So R is for reflect. So I figured, you need, no matter like your journey, whatever you're doing, you need to reflect back on, the path that you're going on. Am I going in the right direction, so on and so forth. So I decided to transfer out of town to UT Dallas. But in doing that, I needed to think about, was it going to be worth it? Were my credits going to transfer? I was going to have to change my degree again. So my parents told me, don't do it. They didn't want me to leave. They said, just finish like your basics here. And I was like, no, I want to go. So I actually sat down, talked to an advisor, asked them, what, are my credits going to transfer? They said, yes, they are. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it. Despite whatever my parents said, I'm going for it. So I went to UT Dallas, and I changed my degree to what they call EMAC, Emerging Media and Communications, which is sort of video production, but not really. So completely changed it all over again. Then I realized that S, which is stay satisfied with yourself. So going from UTEP and then going to UTD, it was a completely different culture. Over there, school is it. Like, there's no parties, there's nothing. It's completely books. And I started feeling like I was out of place. I started feeling like, maybe I'm not cut out for this. I'm not as smart as they are, But then I started realizing that everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own, if it's going to take me 5.5 years, it's going to take me 5.5 years. If it's going to take somebody else 2, it's going to take them 2. But in the end, we all are going to get the same piece of paper. It doesn't matter how long you take. We all have our own stories. So no matter what, stay satisfied with yourself. For E, I put engage, which I think is really important. When I went to UTEP, I didn't engage at all with the school. I went from my house to school, and that's it. I never participated in any extracurricular activities or never got involved with the school. I just could care less. But at UTD, I didn't have any friends or anything. I needed to get out of my comfort zone. So I joined intramural sports. I played soccer, intramural flag football. I actually reffed like basketball, and I had no idea how to even play basketball. But I was like, you know what, let's do it. So I started getting involved. I started talking to different people around campus, and it made the experience a whole lot better. So as advice for me, I recommend you get involved. It completely changes everything. At UTEP, when I wasn't at school, I was partying a lot, grades were going down, like completely different. At UTD, strictly focused, was on campus like the majority of my time there, and I realized that my grades were a lot better. So for V, I put visualize the end. So I think it's important that you make plans for after college. I made the mistake of just deciding I just need to graduate, that's it. The piece of paper is gonna land me the job, no big deal. I don't need to do anything else. That's what, I thought. But when I graduated, I couldn't find a job. And why? Because people asked, do you have 3 years of experience? Do you have 5 years of experience? And I was like, no, I have 5.5 years of school experience, and I thought that was enough. So my advice to you is get an internship, start now. Figure out what you want to do and start going to those jobs and asking them, hey, can I shadow? Even if it's for free, which more than likely it's going to have to be for free. So really get out there, make a whole plan, even if it's going to change, whatever, make sure you get that experience. So for my next E, I put evolve. So the person that you are now is not going to be the person you're going to be when you graduate. There's a lot of diversity in college. If you get out there and you speak to people, you get different perspectives. You learn from them, you learn from their experiences, and I think how else? Wouldn't you rather just learn from other people's mistakes rather than you make the mistakes? So definitely get out there and speak to different kinds of people. Another thing that I think will help you evolve and grow is electives. I took a coding class in college, which was not what I thought I would like. And I ended up loving it. So now I'm able to develop websites by purely coding them. And I know some people take cooking classes and they take different languages. Get out there and take an elective that will completely throw you off of comfort, and maybe you'll find something else that you really enjoy in that. So for R, I put reality. So when you're in high school, nobody tells you that it's going to be really hard when you graduate. Nobody tells you that, jobs aren't going to be thrown in your face. Nobody tells you. And it's not easy, but it's doable. If you get those internships, get those experiences, talk to different people, networking is very important. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And so my reality, I graduated, I moved back to El Paso thinking, I can find a job. Couldn't find a job. I got an internship, which was good, but it was a desk job at a marketing agency. And for me, I realized desk job is not for me. No way. Which is a good thing. I figured it out before I actually got my actual career. So now I'm at the point where I'm trying to figure out whether I want to go back to school, whether I want to do something completely different. I'm actually thinking about joining the police academy, border patrol, that kind of thing. But in the end, I'm not worried about not having a job or trying something new, because in the end, I'm going to have that piece of paper that'll allow me to go back to my actual career if I want to, or back to school, or sometimes people pay you more for just having a degree. Like the police academy, they don't care what degree you have, they're going to pay you a little bit more because you have that degree. So for the next E, I put embrace victory. So with my problem, when I moved back here, I started feeling defeated. I started feeling I got my degree and this and that, and I can't find a job. What do I do? I'm feeling really discouraged, feeling, all these negative feelings. Did I make the right choice? Should I, should I completely change my degree? But all in all, I think everybody needs to stay positive. Getting a degree isn't easy. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of time, and you should be proud of actually, getting it. A lot of people don't make it completely through. And just that alone, whatever degree it is, no matter what it is, engineering or, video production, computer science, just math, anything is worth it. Anything is a huge achievement. And I think you guys should all be proud at the end. And that's it. Oh, and if you're wondering, right now I work at P.F. Chang's. And, like I said, you're not going to find a job right after. But I plan to travel, hopefully, for a year, and just enjoy myself, because you're going to work for the rest of your life. So what is the rush? Like, don't rush, enjoy your youth now and then work later. So that's pretty much it.
All right, guys, this is your opportunity to ask questions. And I have questions too. But anybody have a question for Rivyann?
Would you suggest to anybody to leave their comfort zone, leave El Paso, so this way they can do a lot more, networking and studying harder and stuff like that?
I feel like if you feel that it's something you want to do, you want to move out, you want to leave, I think it helps you grow a lot. I was attached to my parents. They handed me everything. When I left, I had to work while I was going to school. When I was here, I didn't have to work. I think it definitely pushes you out of the comfort zone. It makes you, grow as an individual. And networking is definitely a huge thing. And I went to Dallas, and that's huge. You meet a lot of people who are very successful. Ultimately, I think do whatever is going to make you happy. And if it's going to help you grow, do it. Don't just stay, in one place just because it's the normal thing to do. Definitely step out of that comfort zone.
Other questions? Well, I got one. So how hard was it for you to leave?
It was extremely hard. I have younger siblings. I'm the oldest of 3 other siblings. And I thought I couldn't do it. I was like, no way. I'm super, super, super close to my family, and I thought, there's no way I can do this. But when I got out there, I didn't even want to come back. So I definitely pushed myself out of my comfort, and I think it was worth it. Now I made those connections in Dallas. If I can't find a job here, I can go back and say, hey, where's that job you wanted to offer me? So I say do it. But I recommend doing your basics here, then moving out.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How did you, since you've had this experience, and if you could do it again, and you want to live in El Paso, how would you choose what you study differently?
How would I choose?
Or would you? Would you still do the same path? Because in Dallas, there are a lot of jobs out there for that kind of thing.
There is.
Not so much in El Paso.
Mm-mm.
And you want to live in El Paso.
Mm-hmm. So I've thought about this a lot, actually, in the past couple of months. Honestly, if there's something that you want to do, do it. Because I wanted to do computer science, but I thought I wasn't cut out for it. I thought I suck at math. There's no way I'm going to survive. But I met a lot of engineers along the way, and they were like, you should have done it. You should have just kept pushing. As long as you dedicate yourself, you can do anything. So had I done it differently, I would have gone through computer science. But it's okay. I can go back to school. So, it's not a big deal. If I could be a student for life, I would. Trust me. Just keep going to school, because it's not easy when you get out. And it's not fun either. Just stay in school for life.
Go ahead.
Since you're the oldest, all of your younger siblings, do they ask you anything about school already, or are they curious about what your adventures were over there?
They haven't asked much about school yet. I think because my parents already have like installed in them like school, like you're going to school, like you have no other choice. So they don't ask too much about school, but they are curious about leaving. And my parents are very like, you're not leaving, like you're not. And I mean, I tell them like, do whatever is gonna make you happy, like just do it, you know. But make sure you stay on the right path. Like don't go, because I could have easily gone to UT Dallas and not gone to school. My parents would have no idea. But as long as you stayed right on that path, I think they should leave, because it definitely teaches you to grow up, for sure.
Well, I got another question that you touched upon it briefly. We've had this conversation in class before in some context, but how hard was it for you to convince your parents to let you go?
Well, at the time, I did it horribly, actually. Like, don't do it the way I did it. We were in the drive-thru at a restaurant, and I just told my mom, like, oh, I'm leaving in the summer, in like 2 months. And she was pretty upset about it. It took her a while to get over it, but then she started realizing, like, okay, like I'll support it. Originally, I wanted to leave right after high school. I wanted to play college softball. My parents told me no. So they wanted me to, stick strictly to academics. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go to UTEP. I'll stick to academics. But then, 3 years passed, and I was like, I still want to leave. So I left. It's never too late to leave. It's never too late to come back. A lot of people are, they're scared of making those big moves, and it's nothing crazy. But my parents weren't happy about it at all. But as soon as you graduate, you hand them that paper, they don't even care. Like, you graduated, you did it, like, it's all good now.
That's a good point. Other questions from you guys? Go for it.
So, like, would you advise us or advise any other student to do an internship while you're actually in school? So this way that could make you stand out from the rest as far as like trying to get a job in that field?
I think so, because once you get to like your senior year, I did it like my senior year. I was like, oh, I need to find an internship now. But having 1 year of experience they want more. So if you start now, you can get those 3 years, 4 years of experience. Even if it's like you just ask a company like, hey, can I just shadow for a little bit? Do you mind if I put this on my resume? Ask those questions like, hey, like, can I list you as that I'm doing an internship even though I'm following? As long as you speak up and you express what you want, like, they're gonna let you, they're gonna grant that to you. I think like experience is like huge. Like I can do a lot in what I graduated in, but because I don't have those years, they don't really care. Like, they're just like, well, you don't have the experience, so we're gonna hire somebody else who's worked in this, field for 4 years. So if you have the time, and I would definitely start the internships now. It also helps because maybe you do an internship now and then you realize, oh gosh, this is not what I want. Rather than you graduate, you do it, and you're like, oh, like, this is not what I thought it was going to be, So if you start now, by the end, you'll know. And I changed my degree, I think, 3 times. So it's completely normal to change your degree. At first I said, oh no, I'm not. I'm going to stick to it, and then it changes.
Other questions? I got a question in. Well, I got one more. So what's one benefit, if you will, or one thing that your degree has done for you that you didn't expect?
Shoot, it's a hard question.
Other than coming and talking to this class.
Well, as horrible as it sounds, people treat you differently. They see you, higher up. They respect you a little bit more. Obviously, I got asked to talk to this class, even though I look young. You guys are probably like, what the heck is this little girl gonna teach me? But people treat you differently, and honestly, sometimes, you can get jobs that don't even pertain to your degree. Right now, I might teach Chinese kids English for $21 an hour just because I have a degree online at my own schedule, whenever I want. So opportunities come to you a lot quicker, a lot faster when you have a degree. So that's probably one of the things that I benefit from.
Oh, we got two questions. Go ahead, Sam.
I think I just can't get out of my head because you're like, I'm really close to my family, and I am too. And I did think about leaving, but I don't know. I'm just so scared because I'm like really close to El Paso and I'm like homesick. But like, I don't know how you did it.
Honestly, just staying busy. So I worked 4 days out of the week, and I went to school the other days. And then, like I said, get involved with school. Like, I joined sports at school. I joined, clubs. I went to events. A lot of people think sorority and fraternities are bad, but I had a best friend who was in a sorority. It was actually a business one. So they did a lot of community service and all that. As long as you stay busy, trust me, it goes by fast and you don't even think about it. Plus, FaceTime helps a lot. Just FaceTime, Believe me, when I left, my little sister was 4 years old. So, and she slept with me every day. I took care of her along with his kids. I was super attached, thought I could not do it, but it doesn't hurt to try. Like, if it's something that you really want to do, try it. If you have to come back, you have to come back. What's the big deal, Just make sure your credits transfer and if you go to, the reason why my credits, transferred was because I went to another UT system. So I went from UTEP to UTD. So they all transferred. You don't want to lose credit, so it's not worth losing the credit, trust me. So if they're all going to transfer, I definitely say try to do it.
Pat had a question.
Oh, I was going to say, observing that this is Valentine's Day, is anyone giving you any candy or flowers?
I got a box of chocolates today.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, you deserve it, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I got one final question. Why Dallas?
Why
You
Dallas?
could have gone anywhere, right? And so, why
Honestly, Dallas because, so if you go to San Antonio, it's like mini El Paso. Everybody goes to San Antonio. You go to Austin, you might die at 6th Street. So don't go to Austin. But Dallas is completely, how many, at the time, I didn't hear many people say, oh, I go to Dallas, or I live in Dallas. Like, Dallas wasn't that huge, so I thought, I'm going to go to Dallas. Like, I'm going to try it out. Plus, UT Dallas, they told me, oh, it's a really hard school to get into. Like, there's a bunch of nerds everywhere. And I thought, I want to try to get in. So, sent in my application, got in, kind of surprised. And, I went for it. So that's why I picked Dallas. Because it's not mini El Paso. It's completely different. It's huge. So.
I feel the need to say that Austin, you will not die at 6th Street. It's a wonderful city.
I'm kidding.
Austin, it's a very nice town.
But you partied a lot, right?
No.
No, Dr. Kilos never partied, ever. That doesn't even do that.
I'm just kidding. Any school is great.
This is the United States of America. Is there anything more important than money?
Happiness, I think.
There's more.
I would rather be in a job that I'm happy in than a job that I'm getting paid a lot.
There's no H in persevere.
We can add it. But definitely, that's the reason why my degree changed so many times, because it's important to be happy. Really, it really is.
Awesome. Go ahead.
If you're considering the military.
I thought about it, but honestly, I would say go to school first, and if you're still not happy, take off. I thought about it recently, because I was like, well, I went to school, just kind of couldn't find a job, but so all these options, go through your head. I say get that degree. It's important. The military will always be there. Just finish school. if you want, you know, go to the military, get your degree at the same time. They're gonna pay for your school.
Okay, that question is for me, but because I am wanting to leave in the summer, but I'm not sure. I don't know, like something's making me want to go, but
Honestly, I'm really visual, so something that could help you is get a piece of paper, slice it down the middle, put pros and cons, and you know, write like what's the benefits of you going to the military, what's the benefits of you staying, and like really like look at that paper and analyze, you know, your options and what's best for you.
Any other questions? All right. Well, in that case, Rivyann, thank you.
Thank you guys.
One last round of applause.